Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hello, welcome. So happy to see you guys. I know it's so weird. It's Wednesday, not Tuesday. Let me just pull up all of my stuff over here and make sure that we're not backwards. I think we're good. Let's see. All right. Let's see where we're at here. Hello, everyone. Again, hi. I don't know who's on here. I got to get my comments set up. Welcome again. Like I said, happy Wednesday, not Tuesday. Thank you guys for being so patient with me. Yesterday was absolutely gorgeous out, and I had to get all them leaves. I still got a ton left, but I did the majority of them yesterday. You never know when our weather is going to change from 70 to snow storm. It could change within hours. So, hi, Diane. Welcome. Yay. I got to see you today. I was very happy to see you. She dropped off her swaps to me today, so I was lucky to get to chit chat with her. Who else is on here? Someone else is on here. Don't be shy. Just say hi. So tonight I have an older technique, which is super fun. It is called the Joseph Coat technique. So if any of you guys are familiar with that, you know what I'm going to be working on. I'm using the Hello Harvest stamp set to do that and the dies. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But first, let's just chit chat here for a little bit. Wait and let some people pop on. I'm going to be doing the giveaway. So I have everybody's name that had left comments on either my live video from last week or the post that I put up about my live video. So hi, Amy. Welcome. Yay. So I have Shirley Smith, Nancy Drager, Deb, Donna, Tina, Shelly Lee, Amy, and Diane. So you guys are all going to be entered into the drawing. We'll do that once I flip everybody down. We're going to be, what do I have to give away? Well, I'll show you guys. It's over there. I forget what it is. I'll show you guys when I tip you guys down. So, thank you guys for participating in my VIP group. I left a poll the other day to ask you guys what you guys are most interested in seeing. So a lot of you guys have answered that. Thank you. If you haven't answered it, stop over there in my VIP group. That is, I think it's pinned at the top of this. But if not, it's Crafts with Chris VIP group. And I'd love to get your guys' feedback as to what you guys would like from the group. So far, the top 3 are you want more products showcased through Stampin' Up!, you want techniques, and you want crafting for beginners. So I can handle all of that for you guys. So that's kind of a group where we can get together, and it's better. I don't know if it's better, but it's different than the business page that we're on right now. I can interact more with you guys. We can do more things in that group. So if you guys are really interested in learning crafting, or if you are an avid crafter and just want some ideas, hop over in that group and share with us. I'd love to see what you guys are making, creating, if you guys have questions or whatever. My favorite part is teaching. So we have that, and then we only have a couple more days of the Starter Kit Plus, which is, that is going away November 1st. So if you guys are thinking about joining Stampin' Up! For whatever reason that's holding you back, if it's not the right time, I completely understand. It has to be the right time in your life. So if it's just not chalking up and it's just not right financially, time, whatever, I completely understand. But if you've thought about ever joining Stampin' Up!, this is a great time. This is through October 31st, so you only have, what, 5 more days to join. Join my team. You will have me as your team lead, and I will be as supportive as I can to you guys. Whatever you guys need. If you just want to be a hobby demo, that's completely fine. That's majority of Stampin' Up! Is made up of hobby demos. If you want to do a little bit more with your business, I'm here for you for that too. And when you join right now through October 31st, for $99, you get $155 worth of free products that you can pick out. So you build your own starter kit. With that, you also get free shipping. You get a free paper pumpkin. You get free business supplies. So I would love for you guys to join my team. It's a great, amazing opportunity. You can work your butt off here and you can make a huge living off of Stampin' Up! But it does take work. You could just join and make a little bit of income here or there. You could just join for the hobby part of it, for the discount. The discount, in my eyes, is one of the best perks. So there's that for you guys. And if you guys were thinking of joining, there's actually a new product that's out. Well, it's going to be out as of November 1st. But if you join my team, you could have access to the fitting florets as soon as you join. You could add that to your starter kit. This is completely new. It's going to be in the mini catalog coming up in January. There's actually a whole collection, but the framed floret bundles are the only thing that's going to carry over in January. So if you wanted any of these products, that are part of the collection that is not the bundle, the framed floret bundle, those will not be carrying over. They are well supplies last. So if you want to get your orders in, if you add them to your starter kit, like I said, right now, you can get a jump on everybody else who will be able to order as of November 1st. So there's some pretty cool stuff in here. The DSP is super pretty. Let's see if I can find a picture of that DSP. It's very neutral as far as you can use it pretty much all year round. So it's very pretty. There's also a stamp set in there for Christmas, which is awesome. I did get that someplace in my last order. And then you have these, these embellishments. Let me see what they are called. I have a sheet down here. Those are the gold adhesive back swirls. They are super pretty. These are really, really pretty. I did order these. So it's a really cool set. So if you guys were interested in that or had any questions, just let me know. So let's go ahead and get you guys turned down, I think. Let's see. Let me put up my host code first. This is the current host code. It's only available until the end of October, but please use it with any of your orders. When you use that host code, it does help me to be able to do giveaways and different things like that. So I'm going to flip you guys down so we can get right to our giveaway and then to our project. Let's see. Hopefully that is good. Let's see here. All right. I think that's pretty good. You guys can see pretty good there. Maybe, maybe not. Push it down a little bit more. Okay. So let me bring in, I put all your guys' names into a spinning wheel. So here's everybody's name and here's the wheel. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and spin this guy. Let me see. Can you guys see that all right? I think you can. And then we're just gonna, let me make sure you guys can see it so it's not upside down. There we go. There's a glare. I'm sorry about the glare. But let's see Who's going to win tonight? Let me show you guys before I spin. I'm giving away What a Year Memories and More card pack. So this is pretty cool. You can use it to make cards. You can use it in your scrapbooking. I actually have used it in my planner throughout the year. You can use it for journaling. So it's a brand new kit. I don't believe it's current. I believe it's retired. But one lucky winner will get this. So good luck, guys. I'm going to tap it. We're going to spin and we're going to see who it lands on. See if I can get that glare out of there. So it looks like, woohoo, Diane won. Congratulations, Diane. That's awesome. All right, so I will get that out to you. I actually will mail that to you when I mail back your guys' swaps. So congratulations, Diane. That's awesome. Are we upside down? We are upside down, aren't we, guys? Is that better? I don't think that was better. I don't know why we're upside down. Oh, there we go. All right, so let me just put a Post-it note on here so that I know. Congratulations! Woohoo! All right, so let's see. Diane. So that'll go out, like I said, if you're okay with it, I'll put it out in with the swaps. All right, so let's get down to the actual card we're going to be making tonight. Let's see. I'm a little crooked on there, aren't I? Let's see if I can straighten you guys out a little bit. So tonight's card is, I did 2 of them, so you can see the difference with these cards. This one's a lot darker. The colors are more vibrant. Well, I don't know. I guess they're both vibrant. And these colors are a little lighter. They're the exact same colors I used. It's just the technique I used. I used the blending brushes with this one. And this one I used the sponge dauber. So I like both of them, but I really like this one. I think this one just screams fall. But it's super simple. I'm going to show you guys how we do this. Let me just pull up the comments here. All right, awesome. Good. I can send it with a swap. Woohoo! So, let's see. Yeah, the demo discount and the pre-orders, I think, are just awesome. I mean, when we get new products, we're like always, oh, am I good? Yeah. When we get new products, me and the team are always like messaging each other and we're like, oh my gosh, did you see what we get to order and this and that? So super fun. Let me pull down I don't know why it keeps my chat keeps going up. There we go. Hi, Donna. Woohoo. You're just in time. I haven't started yet. So I killed enough time for you to get on here. That's awesome. So let's go ahead and start with this. We are going to be doing some embossing. But let me show you how to do this awesome background. So again, like I said, I am using the Hello Harvest stamp set. This here has matching dies. And I already pre-cut out the pumpkin and the vines and that was it, in the stem. So the pumpkin, you can cut out this pumpkin or you can do this pumpkin with the designs in it. So that's what I chose on there. There's a bunch of different sentiments in here. I went with hello just to keep it basic. So if I need to send out a card for any reason, I have one on hand. So what we're going to do is let's bring in a piece of basic white. So let me get a scrap piece of paper here, just so I can put this underneath it. This piece of basic white is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. So let me just make sure you guys can see all right. Goodness. Sorry about all the wiggling. So again, 5 1/4 by 4. And that's our main focal point. I'm not doing any DSP on here. I figured we would, I feel like, you guys can't see very well. I guess you can though. I keep messing with it. You guys are going to get seasick, right? Seasick. All right. So what I'm using are the sponge daubers. So I already have them all preset here. These sponge daubers, I think you get, I don't know, 5 for $5 or $6, something like that. And so you're going to need 4 of them because we're using 4 different colors. So we're using Garden Green, Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, and Real Red. Awesome fall colors, right? So I just want to make sure you guys can see me all right. Yeah, I think I'm good. Move you over just a skosh. I know, seasick again. So let's go ahead and open up all of our beautiful colors. All right. I missed the comments again. Where are the comments? There we are. Oh, good. You can see. Woohoo! So again, the blending brushes made the colors were a lot lighter. And with the blending brushes, it was harder to get more color on. Not more color, but a more variety of the colors because the blending brushes are bigger. So it's a lot easier to get the colors on here. So this you're just going to do randomly. You're going to put your colors on. Let me see here. This one is the Daffodil Delight. So what you're going to do is just pick up some of the color. I went off first and then just kind of put it on, circle it on wherever you want to. You create the design colors, I guess. So I always go off first just so it doesn't leave a stark line, I guess. So you just kind of push these colors around, and I just pushed them on my hand. And you don't want to go on top of each other, the colors. You want to try to keep them as separate as possible because then it turns muddy. So you guys get the gist of it. This is what you would do throughout the whole paper. Now, I actually have one already done because we're going to be embossing on it. So you want to make sure your ink is dry before you do your embossing. So I did a piece Monday and it's set for a couple of days. So it's completely dry. So I'm going to show you guys. So we're all done with the ink colors. Once you do your piece of paper with the magic of TV, boom, it's done. So you guys can see all my colors here. This is dry. So now what we're going to do is, let me move these guys out of the way because I have a feeling. So I'm going to bring in another piece of scrap paper here. And I don't want that piece. It's got all stuff on it. Let me get another piece of paper. Actually, I don't think I need this. Don't listen to me. I'm going to use actually the Embossing Additions Toolkit. So this is newer. You get this tray, which all your embossing powder goes into. You get a pair of tweezers. You get a paintbrush, or a brush, I should say, to wipe off any stray powders. And then you get the embossing bag, which is awesome. That prevents the sticking. So what I like to do is rub the bag into the tray so it's not staticky. So it'll make it easier for my embossing powder to come out. I'm going to take my embossing bag and I'm just going to run it over the whole top of all my colors. And then in this kit, there is this leaf. So you're going to need Versamark ink to do this. Will it fit on this block? Let's see. Yeah, it'll fit on that block. So we're going to take our Versamark ink and you're going to randomly stamp this leaf down. So it's going to be hard to see. Well, it can be hard to see. So just kind of randomly stamp it down. If it stamps over itself, it's fine. I don't know if the camera's actually picking this up at all, but you can kind of see it. So you can do this technique with any solid stamp. This is where you want your solid images. That's where it works best with, where you can see the pretty colors. So I think I'm going to do one more there. And then maybe off to the side here. Oops, I got the halo effect there. I see it. I think that's probably pretty good. So the halo effect is when you stamp down too hard, you get that red rubber that's not part of the stamp right here. You get that image stamped down on your project. So I did stamp, when I stamped off like this. Whenever you use your stamps, you want to stamp straight down. You don't want to rock it. You want to stamp straight down and apply even pressure to avoid the halo effect, they call it. So you're going to need your clear embossing powder. And I have the top on this. This little top comes off. So we'll take that off after we're done. I'm going to take this and we're going to sprinkle the clear embossing powder all over the top of this. You're going to want to try not to touch it, only in like the corners. So on here I have a bunch of the halo effects. So that's good that that happened during the Facebook Live. I must have been too aggressive with my stamping. So the brush is nice because I also have a smaller brush, which I like. So I'll take a little small paintbrush and I can really get those lines off of there. I really went crazy. I was really aggressively stamping that stamp. So I think that looks good. Maybe. There we go. All right. So now what you're going to do is we're going to, before we do anything, yes, that is the halo effect. It is not a pretty effect to have. So I'm going to pour this back into my bottle here. And that's what's nice about this is it goes directly back into the bottle. And then you can take your brush that comes with the embossing editions toolkit, and you can brush it all down to the bottom there and then get it back in your jar. So this was offered a long time ago. This used to be part of the tools that we could get through Stampin' Up, and then they retired it. You'll see that. You'll see tools will come back. Different things will come back. They retire them. If a lot of people aren't buying them anymore, they retire the product, and then you might see them come back in a few years down the road. So, yeah, it does have a pretty name. So I'm going to take my embossing or my simple chamois, and get that Versamark ink off of there. And then we're going to remove this. Now it might get a little noisy. I'm going to bring in my heating tool. So this is a very important part of your crafting if you're going to be doing any embossing. Embossing scared me when I first started. I did not want to do any type of embossing. I felt like it was for the professionals. I just did not, I was not confident in my crafting skills to do embossing. Now it's one of my most favorite things, and I wish I would have done it a lot sooner. It's really not that scary, and it's super easy. So with the embossing tool, there are two options on here. Option 1, option 2. Option 1 is heating, or drying, I should say. It's more for when you do this technique here. You can do option 1 to kind of heat your ink to speed up the process. Number 2 is the higher intensity heat, which is for the embossing. So what you're going to want to do when you're embossing is turn it on to number 2 first, let it warm up, and then put it over your project. So like I said, it's going to get a little loud. We're going to let that heat up. This right here, the barrel gets really hot, so there is this plastic around here for protection so you don't get burnt. So we're just going to take this. I don't know if you guys are going to see the magic happen. Because it's clear, you may not see it on the camera, but I can tell you it is working. It's super fun to emboss. How many of you guys like embossing? I love it. So you're just going to take your heating tool and you're just going to go over your whole card base here and just make sure you heat up everything. Almost done. So I think I got it. So that's it for our heating, our embossing. So if you guys can see how pretty that is. So that's kind of pretty just like the way it is, but we're going to turn it into even more pretty. More pretty? Better pretty, I guess. Let's see. Embossing. Embossing it takes a little bit to get the hang of, but it's really not that hard, and it's very easy once you get the hang of it. Don't let it scare you, Donna. You can do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring back in this scrap piece of paper here. Now this is where the magic starts. So with this, you're going to want a dark ink. I prefer Night of Navy. It's dark enough to where it almost looks black on your projects. So this one, I actually use Starry Sky because I wanted to see, it's kind of similar to Night of Navy, but it just is not as dark. But you can see the blue kind of comes out in that. So that's what I used on here. This one here, I did use Night of Navy. I tried the Memento on one and I did not like it. I don't know if it was just too dark. I don't know. I didn't like the Memento. But I'm going to take a blending brush, Night of Navy, and what you're going to do is you're just going to start rubbing this Night of Navy on here. And you notice how I did not tap it off. You want to get this as dark as you can. So the more ink on here, the better. So I'm not going to tap it off. I'm going to apply it. I did this I want to say 4 or 5 years ago when we had a hot air balloon set, stamp set, and it turned out so pretty. Yes, do it again. You will love it once you figure it out. Practice, practice, practice. Yep. The only part about this is it can get a little messy on your fingers, so just be aware of that. Sometimes I like the messy projects. Sometimes I'm like, nope, not today. So you guys see what I'm doing here. You can see how it's all dark. So I think I've got it pretty much covered. All right, so now we're going to bring in my simple chamois and wipe off my fingers as best as I can. So you may want to have some baby wipes, or in between this, you may want to go run your hands under the sink with some soap. A lot of times the ink will come right off with the soap. It may take a couple of days for like our Memento, but usually the water-based inks, they might stain for a little bit, but I notice, like, if I'm working in the morning and I have them on my hands, by the end of the day, the amount of times I've washed my hands, the ink actually does come off. So now what you're going to need is a paper towel, and I do not have one. Let me get one. Where are my paper towels? Right here. So you're going to need a piece of a paper towel, and this is where the fun and the magic happens. So you take your paper towel and you just rub over the top, and that's when these colors kind of pop right out. It's emboss resist, so when you emboss something, the ink will not stay on the top of your embossing. So look at that. Isn't that super pretty, you guys? So there's your background. So you could make, a 12 by 12 sheet of this, do this technique on that, and then you could cut up your sheets into whatever sizes. Yeah, embossing does make me. I always feel like when Amy said embossing makes me feel fancy. I always feel like when I do embossing on my cards, it is that step up, that elegance to that card. So there's that. So that is called the Joseph coat technique. It's an old technique, but you can see how pretty it is. And it's really simple to do. So now what I've done is, I'm going to try not to get this ink on here. I've cut a piece of Daffodil Delight. This one is cut 1 by 3. So in here, where is that stamp set? Where did I put the stamp set? Oh, right here. In here is the hello. So it is really beautiful, and it's not that hard to do. It, like I said, it's a little messy. So as long as you're okay with messy, it's fun. So I'm going to take the hello out of here. And I'm going to use the Night of Navy, just because it's out. And we're going to stamp that. I don't know where my small block is. On this piece, whoa, that is very heavy inked. Right towards the left side, you're going to stamp it up closer to the top. Are you? No, you're not going to. Never mind. You're going to stamp it right in the middle. I thought I was going to do some rhinestones. I guess you could, but I really didn't want to take away from that background. And that's it for the stamping. So I'm just taking my simple chamois and just getting that ink off of there. And then I will take my scrubbing pad, my Stampin' scrub pad, and I will clean these stamps. I try to go through the stamps that I use. I set them aside, and then once a week or once every 2 weeks, I get the Stampin' Scrub. Where is that? Let me see if I can find it so I can show you guys. There it is. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. Well, I don't know where it is right now, but it's about this size. And you open it up. There's two of them. There's a wet side and a dry side. And you have this spray cleaner that you put on one side, the wet side. And then it's like almost like a carpet in there. And it gets into the fibers of your stamp and really gives them a good cleaning. So, all right. So I brought in the Banners Pick-a-Punch. Is that what it's called? Banners, I think so. Banners Pick-a-Punch. And I'm going to flag the end of this. This actually, I think it's two. I think 1.5 and 1 maybe, or a half an inch. I'm not sure. I'd have to get you the right measurements, but I think it's two. I don't know. I'll get you guys the measurements. Anyways, 2 fits in here perfectly, a 2-inch. So you're going to push that all the way to the end till it won't push anymore. And then you're going to flag that end. So you have the nice little flag there. So I'm just going to chop this off. I don't know why it did that. Then we have a piece of Daffodil Delight as your card base. Make up my mind. Whoops, that fell on my foot and that kind of hurt. I'm a hot mess again. Wouldn't be a Facebook Live if I wasn't a hot mess, right guys? That's why you come. You don't come for the crafting. You come for the insanity of me. So this will get layered right on the front. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal to layer that down. So again, I didn't want to add too much to this because I want that background to be your star, you know. So I'm always a hot mess. And then I'm going to lay that flat down instead of doing Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. I'll put this right up at the top here. And then your little pumpkin. I cut each of the vines out, and then I'm going to pop this pumpkin right up. I love this stamp set. You guys, I think you guys, I don't know if Amy owns this one, but I think you and Donna both own this stamp set, I believe. Do you guys love this stamp set? Oh, Donna, you're always my savior. Thank you. 1, 3 3/4, and 1.5. Thank you. So this little piece is the centerpiece for this pumpkin. So I thought it would look cute popped up. I just used the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And before I did that, well, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It'll work. I'm going to bring in the glue dots. And I'm going to take my Take-a-Pick tool. And I'm going to put some of these glue dots underneath this top part here. This is what your stems are going to stick to. I guess I should have done this prior to me sticking this center down. Okay, so now I'm going to take my vines and kind of just finagle them. However, put that one there. Okay, and then press down. So there's your little vines, and they're stuck in there pretty good because of the glue dots there. And then, oh, where is the stem? Here's the stem. So I'm going to put, what do I want? I'll do some liquid glue on that. You got the sweet. Yeah, this stamp set is awesome, especially for fall and Thanksgiving. Let's see here. Amy, you do not have it. It's a good stamp set. It's a nice one. If you're into the fall and pumpkins, I think you would like this stamp set. So then I'm just going to stick this right on the back side here. And then I'll just put some Stampin' Seal. And then that'll get popped up right here. Or not popped up, but just glued down. So I kept it nice and simple, like I said, because of that background. And then don't forget your piece of basic white. This is 5 1/4 by 4. This gets layered right on the inside of this card. I always like to do the glue on the close to the ends, so it doesn't pop up at all. And then that gives you a nice space to write in. So, let's see. So that's it to that card. So like I said, this one here, it's just, I guess, your preference on the way it's colored. This one was done with the blending brushes. Same colors. I used exactly the same Garden Green, Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, and Real Red on both of these. But you can see they're a lot lighter. So that's that. So I hope you guys liked this technique. It's super easy. Yeah, the card is awesome, isn't it? I really am happy with the way this card turned out. Let me put you guys up here. And that technique is quite... It's been around a long time, that technique. So you can Google it and you can see all kinds of different designs with it. Like I said, it's super easy to do. It didn't take long at all to do the card. I spent more time talking, I think, than I did making the card. But I'm going to leave all of the measurements and everything in the description of the video. And if you guys are watching and you haven't joined my VIP group, I would appreciate you guys to join. I'm going to do different things in there. There'll be giveaways. There'll be all kinds of fun things in there. So thank you guys so much for being here and watching. I will be back next week on my regularly scheduled day of Tuesday at 7 p.m. So I didn't want to cancel this week, so I just postponed it. So it looks like you guys were happy that I didn't postpone it. So I'll see you guys next week. Let me see if I remember how to end my video here. So I'll see you guys next week, Tuesday, on my Crafts with Chris channel. And you guys have a good rest of your week. And I don't know. I guess it's goodbye for now. Bye, guys.